Hey everyone, and welcome to another ESL cast, this time from the Open 91 EU. In the bottom left, give it up for PtitDrogo. In the bottom right, our Red Talon. Wow! I almost said it's our Red Talon Kelazhur. No, it's our Red Talon Kelazhur. This should be a fun one. Protoss versus Terran PvT on Blackburn. Always turns out a little weird, always turns out a little funky. Blackburn, one of those maps where you have to rush across the bottom through a slow zone choke point. Maybe 1 out of 100 games provides interesting mechanics around this choke point, but yeah. I'd love to see slow zones and speed zones used in like an interesting way that actually affects the gameplay. I don't think I've seen one yet. Wow! Gameplay! Amazing. Kelazhur finishing up our racks on the high ground. This is likely just a normal Reaper Expo from our Terran. Drogo, a pretty legendary Twitter memester. I've definitely clicked the like button on quite a few of his tweets. Second Nexus down for Kelazhur. I think we're in it for a long one, guys. It's an adapt opener. PtitDrogo just play in a relaxed manner. Wouldn't mind coming out from the factory. Drogo starting up a Stargate. You guys know the drill. You guys know how this goes. It's a macro game. Unless one of the Widow Mines gets a really good shot off, you know, then it's just a G. Cancel on the first shade. Second shade moved in. Cancel again. Kelazhur building a second command center safely in the main base. Oracle about to whir onto the field for Drogo, and our first harasses are set up for this game. Incredible. There's the medevac loaded up with 3 mines. You had 3 shots, 3 opportunities. Would you capture it, or would your opponent micro well enough to only lose 3 probes? A-okay for the Protoss. Drogo moves in with the Oracle, but just casts Hallucination, or Revelation. Phoenix play follow-up from PtitDrogo is scouted. 3 probes going down, about what you expect from Tide mining time. And Drogo will happily go back to mining. Phoenix close in on the Viking. It's down to very little HP, as is this medevac, but the Marines on the ground will keep the Phoenix at bay. long enough for the SCVs to get in, get a repair. Oh, why are these being sacked? This has got to be like a messed up hotkey or something. That was not great from PtitDrogo. What is happening right now? He flies the Oracle into the Cyclone? What is going on? Viking loaded into medevac is always Pog. Kelazhur totally stabilizes. This is a rout. This is a disaster for PtitDrogo. Forge down for Drogo. Another Phoenix popping out. How elegant, how graceful, how beautiful the unit is. I think the Phoenix might be one of my favorite designs aesthetically in the game of StarCraft. Third base plating for Drogo. A big drop coming out for Kelazhur, immediately scouted by the Phoenix. They take a second to turn around, so the medevacs will be able to unload their cargo and turn the Phoenix away from engaging. Well, there is this wide open mineral line, but Drogo is calculating that he's going to need these Phoenix on the defense. He's going to need those lifts. Charge is not done here, so these Zealots not as powerful as you might think they would be. Kelazhur is being forced. Ooh, okay, so the Widowmine doesn't get a lock on. There's the Baja Blast of Spencer holding it high ground. Drogo pokes down but doesn't commit. He's just sitting in the wall waiting for charge to finish. So 3, 2, 1. Well, it procced, but he didn't actually use it. Phoenix going in against the medevacs, getting some lifts on the Marines, and yeah, Drogo's gonna hold. He did okay for himself. Kelazhur, though, has wave 2 on the way. We'll see how Drogo does against that. He's at a big army supply disadvantage, but he does have Defender's advantage. He's going to be reinforcing much quicker than Kelazhur is. That whole 37 army supply isn't being brought to bear right now. Lift on one of the mines. Second mine gets a pretty dank shot off. Drogo retakes map control. Kelazhur forced all the way back. Still on 2 base. Third base just finishing up now, but like Drogo's pretty far ahead at this point in the game. Big oversaturation on the main. Well, okay, you know what? Drogo's pretty oversaturated on his main as well. So we'll let that slide. I was about to say Kelazhur's economy not as good as it would appear to be, but it totally is. Okay, he's going to pull the long distance mine. There, Drogo pulls the extra 6 probes, likely to go in the gases. And should be taking a 4th here quite soon. Probe moves up to the top left corner. Drogo running in a bunch of charge lots. Should be able to connect quite a few kills. Kelazhur's totally out of position. He's gone on the attack once more. Have enough to actually break this though. I'm not so sure. Charge lots holding their own. Half dozen, 9 SCV down, 11. It's just a massacre in the natural of Kelazhur, and perhaps equally as importantly, it's gumming up the reinforcements. You know, it's pulling Kelazhur back home. This is leaving his 3rd vulnerable, and Drogo's going to take full advantage of that. The Archon, the Sentry, knocking the command center down to about half HP. Drogo got supply blocked, so he just executed an injured zealot. Just psych himself up to assert dominance. Recall saves most of the units. Kelazhur will finally be able to take his third. Drogo never did take the fourth base, just leaving this probe up here as a scout against drops. 4 zealots loaded into the prism. Couple colossi coming out for Drogo. About to finish. Cool. Misplay on the prism. Getting picked off by static defense. How embarrassing for that medevac pilot. Sure, or for that prism pilot. I'm sure Drogo's gonna fire them like as soon as he catches wind of this. Posthumously. It's a posthumous firing of the prism pilot. Kelazhur repelled once again. Oh no, the Widow Mines! Okay, it didn't actually do that much. These were some tanky, beefy units. Thank God the shields had repaired quite a bit on the icons. Could have been disaster. Hella moving out once more. Into the fort. Up to PtitDrogo. Drogo. Is looking pretty impenetrable though. 4 colossi on the field, and there's no good answer for Kelazhur. Might just try to drop on high ground or something. Okay, dropping the top left is going to distract Drogo, but colossi up. They don't have to do like a stellar job here. They just have to hold the line. Drogo decides to abandon top left corner base ultimately, and Kelazhur's not going to dive in to the third. He's being chased all the way back home, actually. He's going to shut this base down again if Drogo tries to drop it. Oh, instant cancel on this one. But perhaps more critically, Drogo shut down the third. Yet again, the SCV is not allowed to evacuate, forced to repair. Otherwise, this command center would melt really quickly. Widow Mines hold the line for a bit, but the command center falls, and this is disaster for Drogo. He's like all in with this double medevac drop, which is not a phrase you want to be hearing. 16.5-minute mark over Baron. Just a bad time. No, the medevacs are out of energy, so they're flying over the Stalkers and just getting shot down. The bio is melted on the ground. GG. Drogo is going to take map 1 of today's series. In the top right corner, 2K Atmospheres, as our blue Protoss. From Altar, it's PtitDrogo. In the bottom left, as the red Terran, once again, it's Kelazhur. Drogo taking a strong map 1. A very strong map 1. Kelazhur never seemed to be able to cause actual Drogo. Kelazhur was the active one, the one out on the map, constantly being aggressively, not able to make things happen. Kelazhur. Finishing up the high ground racks. Perfect fan. Red Terran. Drogo starting up the Cyber Core. Down goes the second CC for Kelazhur. And yeah, it's another slow burn macro play from the two. You know, I'm casting this series as part of the DK30, and one of the things I'm still really struggling to find an answer for is what to do with the first 3.5 minutes of macro games. I just, you know, it's not so bad now in isolation, but when you're doing 2 or 3 tournament/event thingies a day, and you might be casting, you know, 10 macro PVT. What? Do you just say the same thing again and again and again? Because you run out of personal stories to tell, right? Like, you run out of things to say about the players. You run out of, especially me, because like I've never gotten to really get to know the StarCraft scene outside of like the community level. Because I just haven't been able to attend events. Like, I gained any kind of anything in the right when coronavirus hit. So I was gonna say notoriety, but I'm not sure I'm notorious just yet. Still kind of sucksville. TBH, I'm working on getting better, but like, yeah, it's hard. You have like your Aligulac stats, you got your Liquipedia stats, your head-to-head, you got whatever trivia blurbs are there, whatever tournaments they worked on. But let's say you're following a storyline, right? And the player you started with, oh, it's a Dark Shrine play from Drogo. But yeah, like the player you started with is who you're following all the way through. Now one of the players, you've said like the same thing like 8 times. You know, you run out of things to talk about by the time you're on game number 30 that they're playing in the in the tournament. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for this. Hard. With a co-caster, it's super easy because you just BS. You have simpatico hope of rhythm, but solo casting, man, it's so brutal. Especially like this YouTube stuff, there's not even chat to lean crutch. So I don't know. This is a philosophical thought. This drop, not going super well for Kelazhur. Drogo, of course, a deep tune. Right after Kelazhur just let out a bunch of fly. ETs have been scouted, but it's kind of too late as Drogo's gotten his prisms to the main Kelazhur. Down, he chases the SCVs. Repels the prism. The prism dies. Died. Ooh. Last one splashes into an auto turret. Drogo still with a decent play, still ending up ahead, burning Raven energy. He's still holding it home pretty well. He's lost like 2 probes, I think. Maybe I'm wrong here. Oh no, he's lost 11 probes. My bad. Still. Well, I guess when you factor in mules, Kelazhur is ahead. Oh, this is very thick hard wall. Drogo, he's shooting this building, but I don't think that actually unsealed it. Is there a gap here? Okay, there might be a 1 gap, but I think you want to kill this one off, right? I don't know. One hex gap is what I meant to say. Yeah, there is. Drogo's got another prism ready to go. Forced out a missile turret. Oh, there's no missile turrets in the main. That's a big mistake. Oh, there's not a scan. Maybe. Well, this server's gonna insta-die. Oh, because there's a Raven. Duh, there's a Raven. That's why there's not missile turrets in the... Older meme, but it checks out, sir. Archon play coming out for Drogo. This Raven shouldn't have seen the Prism. Kelazhur's holding fast. Playing very defensively. Now, he no longer has a Raven to spot for him. Gone on the harass. A backup warp-in of these could make something happen here for Drogo. Oh, I think these guys were actually moving out for... No, they might have been moving to intercept. I think the supply depot just narrowly saw the Prism. Yeah, okay, Kelazhur is going to go for a drop. Drogo's Scouting Zealot shouldn't catch it. I don't think he saw. Drogo looked like he was going to move out for a moment, but... not going. Archon's repelled again. Prism playing with fire. Taking a good deal of hull damage. But wait a second, Kelazhur takes down an Archon with Bunker holding in the natural. Not too much has been lost just yet. Marauders firing down from the high grounds and putting in quite a bit of work actually. This looks really good for Drogo, right? But I'm gonna have a hot take. I think Kelazhur's gonna hold. Not taking economic damage. These Marauders are like gonna be really hard to kill until the medevacs run out of energy. Well, down to 2 fresh medevacs, but he did okay. Yeah, he's gonna repel PtitDrogo, back him up to the Prism. Down goes the Prism. Ts are doing some damage, but the stands meant to that. GG, Kelazhur evens the score 1-1. Game 3, kicking off on Jagannatha. Drogo in the right corner, Kela in the left this time around. Kela sending out an SCV scout. Maybe gonna go for an engineer, NG Bay block, something cheeky like that. Could even be a proxy. Nah, it's not gonna be a proxy. These two are gonna go macro. This time around, I am sure of it. It's game 3 in a 3-game series. I doubt we're gonna see a YOLO play from either of our two combatants. Thus, yeah, he's gonna NGB block. Drogo. Getting ready. Clear the NG Bay. Perhaps go across the map, but likely this is going to have The dramatic effect of Drogo taking his third as the expand. Will it though? Will it though? I think given the amount of HP Kella put on the NG Bay, yeah, he's just gonna go take the third location. I don't know though. I don't know. Maybe he guns it down with the Stalker. Kella gonna execute the scouting probe. There's no mercy. No quarter was to be had this day for the robot. A safe second command center in the main. Very worried about a counterattack since he hasn't seen a second Nexus from Drogo. Sends the SCV on the chase, but the probe will get second Nexus off, and it is indeed going to be at this vulnerable expansion location. Third expand location. Anyway, I can't get my words underneath me. Ay, ay, ay. Out goes the SCV. Gonna be a Stargate play for Drogo. We'll have to see what comes out of here. Where's it rallied to? It's rallied across the map, so I'd wager probably an Oracle. Ooh! So Kella might not be cheesing, but he's certainly gonna make some level of all-in play. It's a 3 racks. No Widowmine drop, no Hellion play, anything like that. It's another 3 racks coming out from Kelazhur. Will it be successful? We're gonna find out. A 5 racks play! Oh my god, the committal. The committal from this mad lad. Second seed finished up, starts moving to the low ground. Stim, combat shields in development. Oracle was indeed the first unit out of the Stargate, and will indeed be the second unit out of the Stargate. 2, 3 SCVs. Oh, can we get 4? We cannot get 4. This Oracle is going to try and take down a Marine, but is unsuccessful. Will save its energy for its friend to arrive. Generate some of it. Ooh, wait, no, they're not going in together. Drogo's pulling the wounded Oracle way far back across the map. Here's our fresh Oracle, killing off a Marine. Killing off another Marine. And it will take significant hull damage, but it has weakened Kelazhur's play. And perhaps more importantly, Drogo has scouted Kelazhur's play, right? He saw all 5 barracks with the first Oracle. Let me give him some time to prepare. But that said, he's kind of weakened at this stage of the game because he went for the Oracles in the first place. I mean, it's mass Marine against Oracle. The Marines should win the fight. On paper, in theory. Dim is not done yet. Another Marine falls. Kella's lost, like, what, 6 Marines? Okay, it felt like 6 Marines. He's lost 3. I guess the other couple were injured, maybe. 5 SCVs to just the scouting SCV of Drogo and some hit points on the Oracles. +1 infantry weapons development for Kelazhur. Here we go. Oh, no, he's going to run away again, and it's going to cost him 5 more Marines. This is not good. This is not good for Kelazhur at all. He's just stalling. I guess he's gonna go back in when +1 finishes, but Blink and +1 on the way for the Protoss. Now they shouldn't be finished in time for the next engagement, but yeah, Kella able to get like 0 damage done against Drogo. Actually 0 damage done. Oh my god. And now triple Oracle's coming into his main. Could probably burn down this add-on or something if they really wanted to take on the Marines on the ramp. Instead, they just leave. They just go home. Gonna save their energy. Kella's split up into 2 hit squads, tries to intercept the retreating Oracles, but fails to do so. Drogo floating over the acceleration zone. Kella. Well, he's gonna march forth once again. Will it be enough? Well, the Vanguard runs in, takes out the stasis trap, guns down an Oracle. Out in the depth, a good start for Kelazhur this time around. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my god, calculated. They were so close to activating that stasis trap, but hold up, there's 2 more. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, this is making me anxious. It's so anxious. Ah! Is he gonna spring the trap? Okay, no, he can't. He takes it down. There's 1 more on the high ground. These force fields doing quite some work. A high Templar goes down at the front, but I don't think it really matters. There's just too many Blink Stalkers. This medevac unloading the fresh levies for the front, but they are gunned down without mercy. Drogo can push forth and end this game. There's going to be 1 wave of reinforcement for Kelazhur, but I don't think it's going to be enough unless there's like a really dank Widowmine hit about to happen. Forge down for Drogo, and he's actually opting not to try and finish the game. He's just going to camp. He sees Kella likely doesn't have a third. He's going to go check the other location and then assume a defensive position, I suppose. Down goes. So, an underwhelming DT play from Drogo. Gets cleaned up very quickly by Kelazhur. Drogo pulls back home. I mean, Drogo's way ahead here, okay? Drogo's like massively, incredibly ahead. But do you really want to allow Kelazhur to have a non-zero chance of something? Now Kelazhur's up 20 army support. Now Kelazhur's going to have an armor upgrade. Now Kelazhur, before you have +2. Now Kelazhur can make this play and roll the dice on Widowmine hits if he really wants to. Again, he's back out. Understanding what Drogo has. Drogo doesn't have splash really. He's relying on stasis ports and charge just finishing up for a blue Protoss. Oh god. Well, it's Halloween time, you know, that was a jump scare, right? That was a cheap shot. It was very horrifying. Kelazhur is about to get chopped into tiny pieces. No! No, units! No! He's fighting on the right flank. And minus 20 army slot for Kelazhur. Not like this! Drogo pushing Kella back. Picking off a medevac. Kella down in army supply once more. +2 weapons about to finish for the Protoss, giving them a massive power spike. Extended thermal lance finishing up, not There's too many Colossi for it to benefit right now. Second Colossi in production, but still a ways away. Shadow Stride starting for Drogo. Like, he's prepping for the later stage of this game. Kella splitting his units. A lot of them heading to the right, but is that the right decision here? Drogo can totally take this flank on. There's not a second prong of attack going on here, and the weak spot of Drogo is not here. It's up here to the left. All right, Kelazhur starts to move out. Small Zealot hit squad ready to run into this base, carve up some SE, given the chance. Try to back down right off the rip. Widowmines get decent shots off, but there's no units left to capitalize on it. The meager remains of that expeditionary force returning home for Kelazhur. Hela scans, takes out the DT, takes out the Zealots. Drogo blinking to high ground. Widowmine blowing up some Zealots. Drogo literally running home through the minefield. Mine sweeping as he goes. Kelazhur collecting himself once again, man. He's not out of this game. He's down in workers. Not even the mules are making up this difference. But he's about to take a fourth. Army supplies comparable. He's keeping up on upgrades and hands shockwaves in development. And there's a good chance Kelazhur can come back and win this game. Drogo's going to go right for the supply lines. Cut off this army. Oh my god, another stasis ward pops! Happy Halloween, folks. This is gonna die to Archon Splash very quickly. Well, Kelazhur is actually pulling most of his army to go deal with this next incoming attack. No. Stop in its tracks. 3 Widowmines do get burrowed. They will decimate the Zealots. There's just too much meat behind this. And here we see 3 Terran units die. She is called Drogo as our series winner, 2-1. Yeah, so I think this was probably the most even series that we've casted thus far. Really solid, really good. And Drogo taking a narrow victory over Kelazhur. I played very well in that last game, but it there was an opportunity for Kelazhur to come back. So I've been Renegade. Guess we're gonna cast some ESL 91 games before the replays come out for ESL 93. And I'll see you on